We are going to do a little bit of a deep dive now to see why you should be worried about Kingdome Come Deliverance 2. Though, I also want to preface this by saying that I dearly hope this is simply just a case of everyone's woke da being a little bit overtuned, and a community management team that is actively trying to shoot Warhorse in the foot here. Warhorse, of course, being the developers of Kingdome Come Deliverance 2. So, there's been quite a lot of noise around the game over the course of the last few weeks and months, suggesting that they might have been going in a bit more of a wokist direction. And today, well, they felt they'd need to release a new code of conduct, including zero tolerance for discrimination, no hate speech, no classism, and of course, a ban on 1 out of 2 failed mid-20th century socialist ideologies. Now, of all times? Really? And this is what I mean by the community management team attempting to shoot the studio in the foot, by the way, because as we will be looking at in this video, whilst it says developer back here, that is not actually strictly true. And I also want to point out, Daniel Vávra? Something along those lines. He's an old school guy in this. He has been on our side throughout pretty much the entirety of the culture war. He took a vocal role in our favor during the first round of Gamergate. I trust this man, at the very least at the moment. And he put out the following statement. The game exactly what I wanted to be. No one has tried to influence me as an artist in any way, and anyone who knows me knows I wouldn't let them anyway. So again, I hope this is simply just a case of an overly functional woke da and a truly abysmal community management team. So, let's have a quick look here, shall we? We begin with a good old-fashioned AI-generated opening statement intended to mean absolutely nothing, but put you to ease in a fluffy-wuffy way. Followed by some reasonable ones, stay on topic, expect others, all the usual stuff, and no politics or religious debates. Now, this one is the one that I actually like, because, you know, if you'd actually commit to that, nobody would have any complaints whatsoever. That is all the code of conduct you need right there. No politics, no religion. Done. Boom. Finished. That's all it is. Drop that and walk away. It's all you need. It is everything anyone wants from you. But then, of course, we continue on. Zero tolerance for discrimination, and then we mention all of the left-wing values. Racism, sexism, homophobia, ableism, ageism, religious discrimination, classism. Okay then. Colorism, body shaming, and of course no hate speech, specifically white supremacy, advocacy, or racial superiority or supremacy theories. Why do you feel the need to even point this out? Neo-Nazism! Oh god, well, you have definitely told that 0.2% of the world's population that identifies as a skinhead in 2025. No worries, they got the message. The issue isn't with the specifics of any of this, because, like, oh, don't act like a Nazi. Okay. Not too difficult, frankly. It is the fact that you have the need to tell me that you've got to bring up no classism, and that you do not, of course, ban the other branch of socialism. In and of itself, this means nothing, but taken in the broader cultural context, this comes across as very, very weird, particularly, again, when this is all you need. That is all you require. This covers all of it. No politics or religious debates. Voila! There is all of this nonsense, but succinct and easy to understand, and with no advantages given to any one side. This is what you need, god damn it. But to move into the slightly more deep dive here, okay, so the person who posted this is, I'm not even going to try, frankly. Now, she is mentioned here, a community manager as a SNM at Kingdome Come RPG, but this is the important part, at Plyon. That's the thing that you need to notice, Plyon. So, Plyon is a different company. They're the ones taking care of the community management and the shooting themselves in the foot marketing-wise side of this game. Warhorse Studios is a parent company of Plyon. It is English, is a subsidiary of Plaion, who is their parent company. Plaion, in turn, is a subsidiary, of course, of Embracer Group. You can see there, they are the parent. Embracer Group is a very large Swedish corporation that owns a whole lot of different video game companies. Now, amongst one of Plaion's subsidiaries is Deep Silver. Now, Deep Silver is a company that some of you may remember from the Saints Row game, where it was alleged, mind you, that they were the ones who intervened in the development of Saints Row, the 2022 one, which apparently the developers, Volition, wanted to make it more like Saints Row and 2.5. So more of a silly, crazy, mad aesthetic rather than anything overtly political or wokeist. As I don't think anyone is going to accuse Saints Row 2 of being particularly progressive, frankly. But then Deep Silver again allegedly intervened. Now, Deep Silver is the publisher for Kingdome Come Deliverance 2 under Plaion. And Deep Silver, yeah. It's one of those companies. It is unabashedly, proudly so one of those companies. So, if we believe that they did in fact influence Volition to push Saints Row in more of a progressive social justice-y agenda, and there does appear to be certain indications that that could hold water, then they are now the ones holding the leash on Warhorse Studios. Now, again, Daniel Vávra states quite emphatically that he has not been influenced and that he would not be influenced. But to return to this here for a moment, every character in the game has a very clear reason to be where they are, which you'll understand when you play the game. Our goal was and still is to show life in medieval Bohemia as it easily could have happened and to tell an interesting story. At the same time, it is a role-playing game, so it's purely up to the player what decision they make, and for all the decisions they make, they are responsible for the consequences that corresponds to the moral and social norms of the time. I don't want to spoil the plot, the important events, and the rules of some of the characters for anyone, so you'll have to see for yourself by playing the game, and then I strongly believe you'll agree with me. This does read as a dodge. Now, in all due likelihood, his hands are simply tied, right? The publisher and the parent's company are saying, no, you can't spoil anything, you can't tell anything about the plot, we've got to release this, right? So he can't actually explain what's going on, but this sounds an awful lot like, we have probably done a few things that you're not going to agree with, at the very least not on the face on it, but trust me, it will make sense. And again, I am willing to trust this guy. I am not going to cancel my pre-order of Kingdome Come Deliverance 2. I've seen a lot of people saying that they are going to do the same thing. For the moment, I want to trust this man. I desire to trust in this man's words. Now, to take this into a bit of a wider thing again, there is the now confirmed, unskippable gay sex scene of some kind that is in the game. We know this because the game has not been given approval for release in Saudi Arabia because of it, and because Warhorse Studio refused to change it. And again, here's the thing, I don't even mind that. If we have a situation in which Henry can be gay, okay, I don't particularly care, honestly. At the very least, so long as this will then have consequences which would be normal for the time. Alright, sure, more options. I'm all for it, frankly. Now, you couldn't be gay in Kingdome Come Deliverance 1 because, well, that wasn't really much of a thing back then, unsurprisingly, and the societal consequences tended to be rather overbearing, shall we say. But I don't mind the option to have it. Then again, okay, so an unskippable gay sex scene. What is the scenario around this? What are the circumstances in which Henry finds himself in or witnessing a unskippable gay sex scene? Unavoidable. What? So we don't know if Henry is in it, if he's a participant, maybe he, gets berserked. Those of you who understand. Maybe he spots a gay couple doing it, and then that becomes a moral conundrum. That could actually work. Like, what do you do? This is very much so a big no-no at the time. Do you simply let them go and get on with their lives and you don't tell anyone, or do you run to the constabulary? Okay, that could be a very interesting moral dilemma, in fact. Especially if you're then called out on it later. Like, we know you saw, why didn't you tell anybody? And then you've got to try to rationalize that. That could be interesting. Or maybe it's simply something, off in the distance. Like there's a cutscene and there's a couple of gay dudes going at it. Okay. Now, again, I have to raise the question as to why this was necessary to add into the game in the first place. Perhaps it is delivered with enough subtlety and with enough moral implication and interest to still be a very cool quest. It is possible, and again, I desperately want to trust this guy. I want to trust Warhorse Studios because, right, at the end of the day, I do not want to simply become just completely jaded. I've already become jaded on way too many things, okay? On Star Wars, on Marvel, on superheroes, I am already a die-hard skeptic and cynic when it comes to most of entertainment these days. So I would like to be able to maintain some sort of hope, at the very least for something that is produced by a man who has shown himself to be on our side on multiple occasions previously. Yet, at the same time as well, we should not be giving this a free pass. It needs to be pointed out, and people need to be made aware of the wider story around this, that Warhorse is indeed owned by a company that sees fit to hire, pronouns in the bio, to run community management. It is indeed being published by a company that is still happy to splash a Pride logo on top of their own logo today. Their community management is run by people who will say, no politics, and then go, actually, we're going to continue to outline what we mean by politics. It's the exact same trick that they did in the Trench Crusade server, where they said, oh, no politics except left-wing politics. That's okay. Except the same with Helldivers 2, who said, no politics, and then went on to gay, but left-wing politics, okay. Now, I do believe they've turned around on that, mind you, but this is a trick we have seen before. This is not some, wildly out of left field conspiracy theory that they might apply the rules in a biased manner. This has been the norm now for the last 10 years. And so when you see it being set up, you do have to be concerned by it. So my personal recommendation for everyone is probably to take a wait-and-see approach. Wait for people to play it. Wait for reviews. Wait for those people you trust on YouTube and the internet to look at it first and go, okay, is there any element of wokeism here? Watch streams, watch reviews, watch the early access stuff of it, and then make up your own mind. Be skeptical, be wary, but also do not be completely conquered by fear either. We are in the ascendancy right now, okay? Our side is winning, and there is no question about it. We have the political power to claim things. We can approach a game and say, no, okay, I'm going to interpret this in my way. And I see no reason why we shouldn't do so. So, there you are. That is the full story as it is at the moment on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and its worrying community management, which hopefully is simply just that. Some people who still haven't got the message, who still insist to run the public company line in the face of all available evidence. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.